All right, here's the deal. The Kombat pack just got released. Razor and I just saw it maybe 15 minutes ago, so we've had time to think about it. But Shadaloo's now going to watch it.
Seriously,
So,
folks, all I know is that, I heard about Predator this afternoon, so I'm guessing the rest of the cast is in that pack is now revealed. And I came on and Cyborg goes, "It's time to do a rant video." I'm like, about what? So I cut him off, and here we are. So this should be good because I know he and I have some very similar tastes. Looking forward to this. So whenever you guys are ready.
Go ahead. Yeah, you're good. Sorry, I was reading something.
It's time?
You kick it,
Yep.
Holmes.
Go for it.
All right. Click and play. Get that sound out here. All right. Seeing Jason. We know that already. Oh, no fucking way. Wow, she looks good. No. Fuck off. No. No. That's not who I think it is.
It's exactly who you think it is.
Is this real life?
Is this just fantasy?
You gotta turn down your stuff, Shadaloo. We got an echo.
I can't. Putting the headphones back in now, and something in a
Jesus.
state of shock. And what did I just witness?
Okay, well, I'm just gonna start off
Zero
because I
broken
think
in 10 seconds.
I
You
think
can hear
I'm the most pissed off right now because I think Razor's okay. I think Shadaloo might be, I don't know, but I want to get my opinions out there because fucking
The
why?
thing is, the reason I'm okay is because the thing that makes you the maddest is the one I expected the most.
Right. But I mean, it's not that I didn't expect him, but in the Kombat pack when we're supposed to get two classic characters, Tremor's classic.
Yeah, classic was a poor choice of words.
Very poor choice. That's bullshit. That is fucking bullshit. And not only
That is Tremor I'm looking at.
Yes, it's Tremor you're looking at. It's okay, we should probably just say it's Jason, Tanya, Predator, Tremor in that order of reveal, and it seems like it's going to be in that order of release because that's the way they're listed in the Kombat pack now if you look at it.
Man.
So, I'm okay. Preface this by saying totally excited for Jason, but now I completely understand why people are pissed off by guest characters, because guest characters are taking up 2 slots, and the other 2 slots are taken up by Tanya, who, okay, I understand Tanya. Tanya has a good fan base. She represents the 3D era characters, and she represents a female character, so it's win-win-win on that front. I don't personally care for her, but I completely understand why they put her in. That is not my problem. My problem here is you have fans begging for Fujin. You have fans wanting to see Raiko, especially after the comics. You have fans of Havoc. Then you have...
Let's not forget, there's no Cyber Ninja in this game at all.
Right, the MK3 cast is completely non-existent in this game except for Ermac. And that's just... No Cyrax, even though he lived following from MK9. We don't know... He's gotten no mention other than that he's late for his fucking bus, which I took as he's going to be DLC. Yes, there could be more DLC. That's perfectly fine. But that just means I'm just frustrated right now because Tremor, okay? Tremor, out of all the characters, we're getting Tremor. And I have no problem with Tremor, but really, did he really need to be in the first Kombat pack? Were fans dying to get their hands on this character more so than Fujin, Havoc, Cyrax, Sector even, Baraka? I'm so frustrated at the fact that...
I think they wanted to have a Scarlet equivalent. They wanted somebody newish.
Yeah, and that's what pisses me off most is because I feel like we're probably not going to see Tremor ever again.
Yeah. Where's Scarlet, right?
Right. She probably won't even be mentioned in MKX, I'd imagine. And whether you're a big Scarlet fan, whether you're a big proponent for Tremor, you got your character in this game, and that's cool. I'm happy for you. But if this is a one-off, then why the hell is this? I'm just frustrated. I'm frustrated because I don't want to wait 5 months out to see potentially Cyrax, Smoke, Fujin, of course, Havoc. Basically, we're running out of DLC spots now because at most, beyond these 4 characters, they're going to have 4 more characters. And there's like 7 or 8 other that people are like really clamoring for in this game. We have no Cyber Ninja. We have barely any MK3 characters. There's no Baraka, no Shang Tsung, and then of course one of obviously the most like requested is Fujin, and he's likely not on the playable roster. So what the hell? What gives? Why? What is this shitting on Fujin that keeps taking place? Like, this is why it pisses me off, because it's almost like they just fucking blatantly do not give 2 shits, and that this is the proof of that, because people have been saying that for a long time, and I've long been a person that's like, I don't know about that. I defended them, but this is the ultimate proof that it's just like, do you not fucking care about this character? Do you not care about all the fans of these characters? Be it a Cyrex or Smoke, or like a character like Fujin and Raiko.
Yeah, maybe if we had a petition.
Right, and that's what pisses me off too, is...
Yeah, it's like the only reason Tremor has a petition is Tremor fans are stupid and they think petitions work.
And it's because everybody else...
characters are, have experience with the internet, and no petitions almost never get you anywhere, so they don't bother.
Not only that, but they never deconfirmed the characters that people probably expected to be in the game. Like characters like Fujin. There was no need for a Fujin petition, because people assumed he'd be in the game. And yes, we don't know the final roster, but every fucking sign is pointing to that leaked roster being accurate. And if that's the case, we are getting 25 characters. What the fuck? Where is Cyrax, Smoke, Fujin? And don't say, well, they're just holding them off for DLC for good sales. Well then, why is this the first DLC pack being released? Why is...
I smell a poll coming.
Why can't...
Yeah, you know what happens when Ed does a poll? Only one person on that poll makes it, even though every name on the list should.
I'm just so... A poll is going to come, yes, because he did the same thing with Injustice after they made up their mind. He did it with
MK9, and he had... there were a bunch of names on it. It was like Tanya, Fujin, Rain, Cyber Smoke. Rain was the only one from the poll who got in the game.
Yeah, and then with Injustice, they did the same thing, and it was Martian Manhunter. I don't even know if he was on the poll. I think people just assumed he'd be, but Zatanna was the only one that really, even though Red Hood had a ton of supporters, and I'm probably forgetting a couple others, like Static Shock and stuff like that, but regardless... I think maybe
Poison Ivy was on it?
Maybe, but once again, it's... What the fuck is the deal? Why is this the first combat pack? Okay, my only logic is... Tremor and Tanya, they think aren't going to sell super well, so they throw them with the guest characters, which have been proven to sell. If that's
fair.
If that's okay, that is fair. But then, why? Who wants to wait 6 months to play Fujin, Raiko, Cyrax, Smoke, or any of these characters, or whoever gets chosen? Like I said, we're limited spots here. I don't see them doing more than 4, and that's even if they do an additional 4 and they don't just stick with 2 like in Injustice. And if it's 2, then, well, fucking, there's going to be a lot of unhappy people.
I don't know. I feel like at this point I've just accepted all the evidence that they don't really like the 3D characters, that the whole reason they did the reboot was to get away from them, that they don't want to bring them back. The only reason Tanya's back is because she's female. She's like the only female from the 3D era that anyone really latched onto, so they're kind of stuck with her.
Yeah. And yeah, Ed likes Tanya, so she obviously is going to get that special, like, she's going to be a guaranteed, if possible. She was even supposed to be an MK9. So, I'm really frustrated because I feel like I only like one character out of the whole DLC pack, and that's Jason. And even then, I'm like, even though... Everybody knows I love Jason, but at this point I'm kind of like, what the fuck? Because, okay, I got Jason, but why is... why...
I don't know, I mean, I'm excited for Jason. I kind of like the Predator. I like the idea of Tanya, but I think she looks dumb. I think the model is bad. There's something wrong with her face, and her outfit doesn't look anything like she did in MK4 or Deception.
I'm staring at it right now, and she kind of looks like an Egyptian crack whore.
Yeah, like
surprised.
the only traits they kept were the Cleopatra bangs, which is okay. I kind of liked that hair in Deception, and the fucking black stripe across her eyes, which nobody ever liked. Anytime anybody ever complained about Tanya in Deception, they were complaining about the black stripe, because they weren't sure, was it face paint, was it a domino mask, why were her eyes white? Everybody thought it looked stupid, so why is it back?
Well, to be
They
fair,
don't seem to listen.
they really do seem to be going for like an Egyptian thing with her, like, references to the makeup aside. And Egyptian like fashion, at least like traditional, like old school pyramid style Egyptian fashioners, we're pretty much conditioned to think that people from that era like wore really heavy eyeshadow, regardless of sex. So in this instance, if that's what they're going for, it does kind of mesh well with the overall look that they're shooting for, and I don't mind it so much this time. She doesn't look like a raccoon wearing galoshes, I guess. It's an odd look though. Like, is that makeup or are her cheeks really like sunken? I'm
hoping they have time to fix this model before it comes out, because that face is like Injustice face.
Oh, I'm sure
Like,
it's
we've
earlier.
been seeing improvements on like Katana and Sonya in this generation, but this looks like the old bad faces.
I'm gonna wait till I see it in action, but
I think it's an early model.
There really is something off about it.
I think it's an early model, but yeah.
I might like the outfit better if it was more of a, like a bright yellow like she had in the older games. This is sort of a pale greenish yellow, and it doesn't have like the jagged or flame like black designs that all her previous costumes had, and I kind of like that about her look. And I don't know, it's too Egyptian. It's like how Scorpion and MK9 was too bug-like. They get a theme and they run it into the ground. There were too many snakes on Shang Tsung, stuff like that. Just a little bit goes a long way, I'm
just fucking... This is deflating. Like, I don't know. I'm not even, like, against Tremor. Shadaloo is the most against and Temp's probably not too thrilled with Tremor. I think we all saw this coming, but...
I was actually expecting him to, like, be a surprise sub-boss. I was looking at one of those pictures of, like, what is apparently Quan Chi in that picture I was bringing up with you guys last week. And that was what I was thinking. I'm like, dude, it's a guy who, like, looks really heavy and muscular, appears to be wearing some tan stuff. That might be Tremor. And if they brought in Tremor as like a giant-ass honking mid-boss, I'd be like, okay, they're putting him to some use. I'm expecting people to pay money for him. I get why they stuck him in with a pack.
Well,
I think of the four of us, and I mean, I just say the four because I don't know how Django feels.
Yeah.
But of the four of us, I think I dislike Tremor the least.
Yeah.
And I do think this is a decent design. I mean, it's basically every Tremor fan art ever. It's, sort of a industrial dress-looking ninja with rocky skin. And that's how everybody draws him, so that's fine. If that's the way they go, then absolutely. That's the Tremor we expect, so why not? But
I'm getting a kind of David Lynch's Dune vibe off of the guy. It looks like it maybe kind of come from the same place as maybe Cabal.
Right, it's very Dune-based, yeah.
Bad design. It's not as deviant from the traditional ninja archetype as I'd like, although again, I have to see more of the guy.
What I kind of like about Tremor is that I feel like he's the only black dragon that doesn't suck. And I mean, that's just because I'm not a big fan of Kano.
Ouch.
I like Kano, but my issue with Tremor is I would have preferred him to be in the roster because that means he's going to... Well, not even that. Here's the thing is, Tremor being in the combat pack is, to me, the same thing as Predator or Jason. He's a guest character because they're likely, and this obviously assumption is based on Scarlet and how we've seen a lot of other characters been treated in the past. I see him as a one-off. I see him as just as much as a one-off as Predator, Freddy, Jason, any of them. He's likely, or Scarlet, he's going to be in this one game through DLC, and that's it. And if that's the case, then I would take anybody else over him.
Here's my thinking. Like, I look at things from, like, the long game sometimes. Like, just, where will Mortal Kombat be in 10 years, in 20 years? Scarlet or Tremor might be in more games by then, and whatever they do in those games will be based on what they did in their first game, and this is effectively Tremor's first game. I mean, Special Forces is his real first game, but adventure game doesn't really count. This is his first fighting game. This is his first real playable appearance, so it will sort of set the tone for if he does ever appear again.
You know what?
And
I could see it.
I think he has a better chance than Scarlet because with the way the intros in this game work, he almost has to talk. He has to have a personality.
Yeah, he'll inadvertently...
And that was sort of what handicapped Scarlet.
Like, he'll actually get to interact with the characters, and people actually get to see him play off against people like Kano and Aaron Black, and I can actually really see him developing a large fan following, assume he's good, and maybe the tournament players will really love him. It could be the start of something. And yes, I've been shitting all over this guy for years and years and years now, and it looks like all the bitching's finally paid off for folks. And I'm happy for you Tremor fans out there. Don't get me wrong. Still would have chosen many people over this guy. But we'll see.
Here's another thing. The fact that he's in the pack, obviously he's the last, so he's the last they're actually working on. But if they have a model that's actually walking up to the screen right now, that means they had to have at least started working on him a few weeks ago. And...
You know what? I think that maybe they just did it to shut people up.
But what
and
the
I
fuck?
Can't say I'd even blame them.
But why? Why Fujin? Fujin has literally been in one game if you don't count Armageddon, because that was an all-in game, so you had to have him in there. But if you count the amount of games he's been in, one game,
man, but
I feel like
people have been like bitching about Tremor since like after Deadly Alliance. That's a lot of time for people with
as a joke. Though,
a completely No, man, he's had some serious, scary supporters out there from like going back almost 10 years.
Hornbuckle confirmed for MK2000 or MK11's DLC. Might as well just accept that right now.
It's not a joke, man. MK11 will have Hornbuckle in it.
It's a trend. We had Scarlet, the previous. It's
either Hornbuckle
character.
or it's Zebron. Yeah. Which do you want more?
That's just.
I think I'm a little angry that Tremor made it in over Zebron.
I'm just angry he's made it over in like 10 other characters.
The only thing I'm angry about is if Serena hadn't been in Armageddon, she's the one who'd be in this game now. Because she'd be the character we've never played as who's been long time coming. But no, she just had to be in fucking Armageddon, so now she doesn't get to be in this gen's games.
I'd much rather take Serena over... And I actually like Serena. She's not one of my favorites, but I like her design and I like the story she has, but I can't help but get this feeling that Tremor is going to be a one-off, because if they can't bring Fujin back after all this time, and he's still in the damn story mode, I don't know, like, are they really going to latch onto Tremor and run with him even 10 years down the line? Because it's been over 10 years since Fujin debuted. He wasn't in Deadly Alliance, he wasn't in Deception, he wasn't in MK9. Like, what the fuck?
I still just think they don't like Fujin. I don't think Boone or Vogel, one of them is not a fan of him, and they just won't come out and say it.
And that's bullshit.
The way they will, like, draw him in.
And that's fucking bullshit. Then just say it on Twitter and just say, we're not going to have Fujin in the game. Like, this is what Temp's been complaining about, that he fucking... And I agree with him at this point. Like, at this point, just start saying these characters aren't in the game, because you ask why hasn't there been a petition. It's because people expect you to fucking put these popular characters that are going to actually have a story presence this time in the game, and they don't. So now it's up to an additional 2 or 4 characters on top of that we have to still have our hopes for way beyond MKX's release for these other characters, and that's bullshit. It's just like, eventually you need to fucking just like tell people, hey, sorry, your favorite character's not going to be in the game. And Fujin's not even my favorite character. He's not even in my top 10, but I can understand the fact that people have been clamoring for this guy for so damn long. You go on MKO, you go on several different forum boards, and Fujin, he has a fan base. He has a presence on the board, more so than Tremor. I don't see a lot of Tremor, like, fucking mock-ups. You see a couple here and there, but Fujin's way more popular and way more requested, but people probably didn't vocalize it as much this time because they expected him to be in the game. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, there was just an unspoken, well, it's a Shinnok game, so most of the MK4 characters are coming back.
Right, and
then now we actually see the roster, and it's new guys and MK9 returnees, and it's like, wait, where are all the Shinnok characters?
I'm just... So I don't know. I just fucking like I said, I don't even hate Tremor. It's not even like a hate for Tremor as the character. I think the design looks neat. I think the concept of an Earth-based fighter is neat. That's not the problem. The problem is, and I'm not gonna go like who deserves it more. I'm not gonna get into that argument. But at the end of the day, why is it that Fujin is always like treated like the redheaded stepchild? What about Raiko? Why is he being built up as this awesome character in the comics if they're not going to capitalize on that? Why? What about Havoc? Havoc's another popular one.
The characters that are big in the comic are because the game's not using them, so the writer has free reign to do whatever he wants with them.
Which sucks.
Agreed.
It's great that they're at least...
It's better than nothing.
It's better than nothing, for sure, but it's still frustrating as hell.
I've been saying this for like a month now. If Reiko doesn't even get into the game, fuck it. I'm happy because he just got like the best showing of any of the MK characters has in fiction in a really long fucking time.
I don't know. I mean, the way they're using him in the comic is all right, but it really bums me out that his connection to the Brotherhood of Shadow is gone.
Yeah. They didn't really capitalize on that in MKA either. Lost to the winds, I guess.
And there's got to be people out there that are extremely disappointed with the whole combat pack as a whole, because you're going to get somebody that is not only against guest characters, but they really want 3D era presence. And is Tanya really the best face for that 3D era presence? Because she at least got in Deception.
I don't even... am I the only person who doesn't consider MK4 part of the 3D era? It's its own little island to me. It isn't one or the other. Yeah, but
you can't... When you're talking about, like, popularity and characters, there's really two categories. There's Trilogy, and there's everything after Trilogy. And that's... 3D era is just shorthand for everything after Trilogy.
I guess, but I just do MK4 as, like, 2D with a sidestep button. If it were me, I'd say everything up to MK4, then 3D games. But that's just me nitpicking, I guess.
Okay.
I think if you wanted to really get like granular about it and look at like the way the developers treat the characters, the categories are MK1 and 2, then MK3 and 4, then the 3 era. Because Cabal and Nightwolf and Stryker and Shiva, Sector, they get shit on just as much as the 3D era characters do, really.
Right.
They just, they get lucky sometimes because, for example, MK9 was a remake of Trilogy, so they had to be there.
Right. This is easily for me the most disappointing about MKX, and it's not even a part of the actual game. It's just the fact that I was okay with the roster the way it was because I had faith that the characters that needed to be in this game, or not even need, but by all means warrant an inclusion with the fan demand that they have for the longest time. However, it's been like 15 years since MK4, and however many, 13 years since Deadly Alliance, and then however many since Deception, 11. It's like, people have been waiting way too damn long to see some of these characters come back, and really, we cut the roster at 25, with some questionable roster choices of its own, and then we get to the first DLC pack, and Tremor takes priority because of a damn fan petition, and
This is... with the exception of the fact that they're doing 2 guest characters this time rather than just 1, it is kind of following the same pattern that MK9 did. You've got one big returning character in the form of Tanya, and you've got a character who is not really a fighting game character, but was part of the MK universe, so to speak, before. Now, the Scarlet was a real character, but part of that expanded MK universe, I guess you could say. So, Tremor had that one up on her. They really are just sort of following a mold here.
Yeah, it's just that this time, where Kenshi's slot would be, there's 2 guests.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like probably at least one 3D era character is a lock for future DLC. If we're gonna get future DLC, I just fucking hope it's Fujin.
Well, but that's the really problem. Is there's not.
I'd be really surprised if it wasn't.
Who do you pick at this point?
Yeah, see, I don't know how we can judge that until after we see story mode, because the problem is it's, representation, and you want them to be important to something. And this game is going to have, all these NPC cameos. So characters who aren't playable will still be getting screen time. So it's a question of, after we've seen that,
What happened?
which ones got the most screen time and which ones need to be something in the game.
See, this is fucking bullshit right here. Somebody's just stroking Ed's ego. Just, oh yeah, let me just jerk that cock off for you. Because that's basically what's happening. On Twitter, Ed Boon replied to somebody saying, I really love how you listen to the fans of MK. And Ed Boon says, that's what we do. ... Sometimes, wink face. And I'm assuming they weren't being sarcastic. I'm assuming they're...
he knows that they're... he knows, and they all know that, like, Tremor has a bunch of people out there that hate him as much as he has people that love him.
But that's my point, is the person wasn't being sarcastic. They're literally, like, they're probably one of the people really happy to see Tremor, and I'm happy for you, dude. But you're telling Ed Boon, you listen to MK fans, that's great, I really love how you do that. At the same time, he doesn't, because why the fuck are some of these characters just being completely ignored? Like they're the Chris Benoits of the MK franchise. Like, we just can't talk about those characters. I can't talk about...
that is.
Like, it's a wrestler that killed his entire family and then killed himself.
Oh, okay.
And then WWE just completely ostracized him from history.
That whenever they, like, re-show, like, old WrestleManias and stuff, if he was in it, they will cut those matches out and not show them.
Ouch.
It's
understandable.
But yes, and my point was, dude, he doesn't. Because if he does, then why is a character like Fujin being completely forgotten? And he's not the only one. Like, where's Cyrax? And I hate bringing up Cyrax because the people are just gonna be like, well, that's your favorite character. No, but I mean, honestly, if you take an objective look, why the fuck is Cyrax just taking a back seat when he was... If you lived through MK9, you should at least have some sort of good chance of being in the next one. Sector even
I don't
is
think
fucking...
where's Cyrax is a selfish question to ask, because if I have... The thing I have seen the most on a lot of message boards that casuals go to, like not MK ones, is where are the cyber ninjas?
Right, I see that shit all the time too, and...
They're gonna have a lot of explaining to do, because I'm starting to get afraid at this point that the whole, like, Lin Kuei cyber initiative is just... It's probably just gonna be glossed over. We're gonna, like, see a flashback. It's gonna be covered in the comics,
like, yeah.
If even that.
Which begs the question, why did they leave them alive if they weren't gonna have them in the next one at all? Like...
Yeah,
all
finish
of this
it
comes
in
down to
MK9
they could have been way smarter with who they killed in 9.
Yeah, if you're gonna... I mean, you had to kill some characters to bring them back as revenants if that was your story direction, sure. But at this point, we have 5 characters that are like... Okay, if we're counting Kung Lao, Katana, Jax, Liu Kang, and Sub-Zero,
I don't mind the
characters.
good guys who are coming back as revenants so much, because that's sort of the point of the plot. They wanted to tell a story where Quan Chi gets all these good guys under his thrall. Because that's sort of, an interesting, oh god, what do we do? The bad guy has all of our friends and is making us fight them. That's an interesting story.
Right.
So I can understand why they killed those guys off. What bothers me is they didn't kill off a single goddamn bad guy except Shang Tsung and Shao Kahn. You knew you weren't going to have Sheev in the next one. You had to. Why not give her a death scene? At least let her go out spectacularly.
I'm not going to sit here and
it's just they never plan ahead. They made MK9 not knowing what MKX was going to be about.
Death doesn't matter to me in terms of roster space. If they want to bring someone in, they can find a way to bring them back if they're dead, like they've done with Jax and whoever. And if they don't want someone back, they don't have to bring them back. They can just show them in a cameo. That doesn't bother me. What bothers me is how they're saying from day one, and like what was the statement that like online popularity like could be influential in terms of who we bring back next time. And Smoke was fucking number 3, and the Smoke fan inside of me is just dying right now on the air. So, yeah, all those statistics, they mean nothing.
Well, you know what? Jax is in the Special Forces and Smoke isn't, so Jax gets to be in this story.
I don't even know if it's a matter of, like, him being in the Special Forces, because they could have done this game without
I think that's exactly what it is.
Special Forces.
They wanted somebody who would have a lot of interaction with Sonya and Johnny and their kids.
We see him on a farm. They could have told us that he'd retired or something, and I like Jax.
Yeah, I think that is the story. I think after the Netherrealm War, he comes back to life, but because he's been dead, his military commission is over or whatever, so he retires to that fucking farm and has Jackie, and Jackie grows up, And then the plot of MK10 happens, so Sonya and Jax go to the farm and pull him back in. Because maybe it's something like, our kids have been captured in Outworld, we've got to go save them, you know?
I don't even dislike Jax at all. I'm quite fond of the character. But I do feel
love
that
Jax, but I didn't need to see him in this game.
At some point, you have to accept the fact that they have what they consider to be the Street Fighter II roster that they feel that no MK game can ever be incomplete without, and they couldn't be further from the truth. Because honestly, with the exceptions of Scorpion and Sub-Zero, there isn't a fucking character out of those first 3 games even that you can leave out for any amount of time and not have a complete MK experience. That goes for Johnny Cage. That goes for Sonya. Fuck, that goes for Reptile. I mean, yeah, it's heresy according to some people, but I can go through games that don't have Reptile in them.
There have been games that don't have Reptile in them.
Yeah, Deception was one of them. And even then, he kind of got past, being the form of the last boss and all. But anyway, I'm just saying.
It still works fine. Deception is it is an MK game, and it feels like an MK game despite the absence of Reptile. He's not necessary.
Yeah.
Sonya, Jax, and Johnny were not in Deception. It was fine.
We need to abolish the notion of a classic MK roster. Really should be abolished, if at all possible. Oy.
You can't even say the only characters you can't lose are Scorpion and Sub-Zero, because I think Scorpion, I mean, I know Ed doesn't feel this way, but I think
it's not going to happen in this
survive without Scorpion, and the thing about Sub-Zero is you can make a fucking new Sub-Zero whenever you want.
Not in terms of their characters, but just their space on the roster. It's a theoretical hypothetical that is just never going to happen. We will never again have an MK game without those 2 in it. Sad, but true. And I mean, at this point, you'd be okay with a game without Scorpion. I'd be okay with a game without him or Sub-Zero if they had to take a break. But the teaming masses absolutely would not. It would be flooding the boards. People would be pounding on Ed's Twitter nonstop. Wolves at the door. Cats and dogs living together. Anarchy in the streets.
Like I said, it's not that you can have a game without Sub-Zero. It's that you can make a new Sub-Zero. As long as his name and the idea of a blue ninja who throws ice is in the game.
Yeah, that's fine.
I think it'll work. And again, they've done a game without Scorpion once before, and it didn't go over so great in MK3, but that was 1995, before people had him shoved down their throats for 20 years.
Before he became the face of a franchise. It didn't go well then. It would not go over well today. People expect him now. He's the Ryu of the series.
Yeah, but there's a lot of people who expect him just because they know he's Ed's favorite character, and they know he's the logo of the company. They expect him because they feel he's mandatory, not because they can't live without him.
I'm just saying, hypothetical, won't ever happen.
I know. I agree it won't ever happen. I'm just saying they could get away with it now better than they did in 95. Because back then, people did want more Scorpion, and they weren't getting it. Now they have too much Scorpion, so it would fly now. They're never going to do it because of who Ed is.
I'd say that's the hardcore fan base that could get along without Scorpion, not everyone else.
I don't feel like the casuals matter that much. People turn to the whole casuals. We need to sell the game to them because that's where all the sales come from. Deadly Alliance, Deception, and Armageddon sold over 1 million. Okay, those games did not bomb. And most of the casuals dropped out of the series after MK3 and didn't come back until MK9. So clearly we do fine without the fucking casuals. We do better with them, but we do fine without them. You can't
say that those games just sold to the MK fan base. Absolutely not. They still got major press. They still did really well. They still got massive coverage. I remember internet ads for them and everything. Those games have an undeserved reputation of being marketed to this niche MK fan base, and it's just not true. They did well because MK is a brand name, and it's been for a long time. It's had its peaks and its valleys, but it's always done pretty well for itself, minus that little period with the special forces.
Well, let's throw this out there. The 3D era games sold better in America than Tekken games did when Tekken was still in its prime.
It's a lot of fans.
Yeah.
A lot of casuals.
So I just want to. I'm saying that because people now look back on the 3D area and the characters that were in it and the gameplay and go, ugh, those were the dark ages. No, they were all right.
They did well, but we look. I think it's the older fan base that looks back on them as the Dark Ages. I don't know. Plenty of people that you'll see now grew up with those guys, and they want to see them back.
Yeah, I don't know who those fans are. I think a lot of them are newbies.
Got to start somewhere.
Yeah, and I wish you would start somewhere that doesn't involve shitting on successful games as though they were bad.
All right. Well, on that note, we need to wrap this up. Just because.
All right. Well,
what you get?
I just wanted to say one more little thing,
Okay.
and it's about Tanya, because I think there's, since she's DLC, she won't be out when the game is out. They're still working on her. There's plenty of time for them to implement things. So on the off chance they're listening to any of this, I want to say to NetherRealm Studios, please give her MK4 moves, not her deception moves. Give her MK4 personality, not her deception personality. I want to see Purple Fire. I want to see her a little flirty and, sort of the same territory as Melina. I want to see her snapping necks with her cooch. That's who Tanya is to me.
And no,
just make that happen.
I repeat, no galoshes. Please. No idea how I hated those things. And I just want to finish this off to anyone out there, because this is going to happen, because this was definitely a venting episode. I personally am not overly angry at the contents of this combat pack. I think they could have chosen better. Yes, I still hate Tremor, but I'll give them a chance.
Again, I don't
Anyway,
hate Tremor. I hate Tremor the least out of everybody on the Nethercast.
I'm happy to give him a chance, and I'm very happy that Tanya's coming back. We shall see.
And this is my This is my wrapping up thoughts. I don't hate Tremor. I hate the idea that he got in instead of several other characters that have been demanded for years because they demanded him. They started a petition for him. But like I said, I'm not angry. I got all my anger out in this. That was why I wanted to do this, is so I could get all my frustrations out. I'm just disappointed. It's like a parent. I'm not angry with you. I'm not mad at you. I'm just disappointed with you. I expected... It's not
you
even
came back to find your dog had eaten all the
It's not even that I
sprinted around the
expected.
room.
It's that I just don't understand. I really just don't understand. I wish they'd just come out and say how they choose their characters for both their roster and their DLC, and why they don't choose certain characters instead of other. Just I'd love an honest, thorough answer to that question. But for some reason, they like to keep it all like a game and keep it all secrecy, even past release, why certain characters don't even make it. So I'd love to know that. I feel like that would set a lot of people's minds at ease and at least help us understand what the character picking process is, so we can just give up on the characters that you clearly will never put in the game, or just for some reason get passed over for other characters because they're more important to you. I would just love to know that. So I'm not pissed off. I got all my frustrations out. But to say I'm deflated is an understatement on the overall package of the DLC pack, that is.
On the upside, can you imagine how badass it's going to be hearing the Predator imitate Scorpion saying, "Get over here"?
Predator's
That's
cool.
gonna sound,
Yeah, I like the Predator.
That's going to sound pretty fucking pimp. I am looking forward to all of these interactions. They're going to be wonderful. Right. Especially Jason and Johnny. I'm so looking forward to it.
Yeah. Like I said, after this venting session and me getting my frustrations out, it'll just be a recovering process of getting hyped again and just focusing on the positives that I like.
And what's this I'm reading right now on Shoryuken? Classic pack confirming Liu
they
Kang
announced
now.
Some of the DLC skins we'll be getting too, and I'm actually really excited for a lot of those because we're getting some classic skins for MK1 characters and Quan Chi. I really hope that means the MK4 costume. I need green sleeves, man.
That'd look amazing.
I will play that character if he has the fucking green sleeves. Just do it.
Have they actually confirmed Liu Kang officially via this now?
Yeah.
That's
You know, I
amazing.
didn't even think of that. This
that's
confirms
really
Liu Kang
amazing.
final.
Officially. So the whole entire leaked roster is now confirmed, and that's all that's confirmed. So
Okay, who the fuck gets unlocked at the end of the game in that case?
I think
I bet it is Liu, though.
I think it's Lou.
That'd be really anticlimactic because they tried so hard to keep like Cyber Sub and Quan under wraps last time. Leave Cyber Sub.
Oh, they were
I was
not
ex-
subtle about Cyber Sub. Ed said real early on, somebody turns into a
Eddie.
cyborg that didn't last time.
Ugh. God damn it.
Anyways,
We just didn't want to believe it until the leak forced us to admit it.
Anyways, right about now, feeling pretty bad for some Rain and Baraka fans.
Oh, fuck Baraka fans. They deserve to be disappointed.
Still maintain that's just a random Tarkatan on that thing, not that it
Oh,
even
he's
matters.
dressed different from all the others. Come on, it's Baraka.
all right. On that note, since you both got
Everyone is Baraka.
all right,
My face is Baraka.
we'll catch you guys
Except
later.
for the ones that are chameleon.